Nespresso does an amazing job at marketing, but quite honestly, they really do have premium coffee. If you're using the Freedom Refill hack, you better get your coffee right. Hi, this is Rob from Coffee Research Lab. Hopefully you've been following our series and have already subscribed, but if not, please click the subscribe button below. We've already taught you the Freedom Refill hack. We've shown you how you can take an inner pod, fill it with amazing coffee, seal it with a foil, pop that into an outer pod, and brew this in your Nespresso Vertuoline brewer. So Nespresso does a couple things really well. Other than marketing, of course, they've got a neat system that gives you that head of crema on your coffee, and so that makes it very different, turns it into a premium experience. But you're not going to get that same experience if you don't also use premium coffee. So that's the other thing that they do well, is they're giving you good high quality coffee. Now you can do that yourself, but I just want to point out that the coffee that you choose to use is going to determine the results that you're going to get. So I'm fine with you using inexpensive coffee as long as it's coffee that you enjoy, nothing wrong with that. But if you find that you're not enjoying it as much as you enjoy the real Nespresso pods, it's because you haven't gotten the coffee right. So obviously, as you're learning, the best way to get the coffee right is to simply open up a Nespresso pod, take out the coffee, and then you can use that coffee to do your refill, and that will prove the process. That will prove to you that doing the Freedom Refill hack really does work, and it really does give you the exact same coffee that you're getting when you're using a real Nespresso pod. And so then that allows you to focus on the coffee itself. The coffee is actually not that complicated. You just have to get two things right. First is determining what coffee you're going to brew, and second is properly grinding it. So, for me, I'm actually using a local roaster. So I'll go get my coffee fresh. I can find coffee that I enjoy, but I also can find coffee off the shelf that I enjoy as well. So I can't help you with telling you which coffee is going to be the one that you're going to enjoy, because that's going to be different for each person. But I want to stress that you need to use good coffee if you want to get good results. Now, the second part is grinding your coffee. Now, you potentially already have a coffee grinder in your kitchen, but it could be one of these ones with the blade. You do not want to use that. The problem with this is you're not going to be able to get the consistency. Of course, Nespresso is going to have a certain specification when they grind their coffee, and we need to match that. So we need consistency, and you're not going to get that out of one of these type of coffee grinders. Instead, what you're going to want to use is what's called a burr grinder, and you'll see that this is very different. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could have your local coffee shop grind the coffee for you. So you can take in one of these pods, show them the coffee that's in there, and have them match it. The other thing that you could do is, if you're getting your coffee at the grocery store, you can try the different settings on the grinder in the grocery store and see if that's going to work. However, I find the freshest coffee is when I'm using a burr grinder at home and I can do the setting myself. Now let me just show you real quick the difference with a burr grinder. Now if we look inside of here, you can see that we have some steel, and we have this steel piece here. So this is what the coffee is going to go through, and so it's going to grind the coffee. It's very, very different. You're going to get consistent results every time based on the setting, and you're able to choose several different settings. So by owning one of these type of burr grinders, you're going to open up your coffee to more than just what you're doing in the Nespresso machine. You could do a Turkish coffee, you can do your French press, you'll have many more choices. So I feel like this is a good investment. Now this particular one is the Nespresso brand, and there's lots of different brands. I'll put some recommendations in the description below, or also on the website, So different ones that you can get. This is the one that I use. It has settings. It's got 16 different settings. So you can go from coarse all the way to extra fine. Now I'm using it here basically on setting number 6, which is one of the ones that's in the fine. Of course, using the grinder is very simple. You're just going to open it up, pour some beans in the hopper, and turn it on. Now this is certainly a way that you can have fresh ground coffee every morning if you choose. Okay, and so it's going to be impossible for me to really show you the size that you need to use in a video. But simply open up an espresso pod. You can see how they've ground the coffee. You'll know exactly what you're trying to duplicate. The point of this video is that you need to use good coffee. You need to have it ground to the right specifications. If you were to use drip coffee, so if you use the pre-ground coffee from the grocery store and you try to do the Freedom Refill hack, you will actually get a cup of coffee, but you're not going to get the same flavors. They're not going to have ground that quite as fine, and you're not going to get the same results. If you use coffee that has been ground too much, and then you're potentially going to disrupt the flow of water through the pod, and you're going to clog your machine. And if you do that, definitely you want to pull the plug when you hear it making funny noises, take the pod out, and then run a cleaning cycle on your machine. So this is not very hard to get right. You just need to understand the importance of it. You need to duplicate it. You need to experiment. Start with Nespresso coffee. Practice, get the technique down, then branch out to the different coffees and discover which coffee you like. You have just opened yourself up to the world of any coffee that's out there, so you're no longer limited. So go explore. Now, another thing you want to experiment with is the different barcodes. As we covered in an earlier video, each of these outer capsules has a different barcode. And that is going to tell it brewing parameters. It's going to tell it not only the size, the amount of water to brew through it, but it's going to tell it the temperature. It's going to tell it the flow rate, the number of rotations. So you've got lots of parameters. You can experiment by using different outer pods. You can start with the pod that's similar to the coffee Nespresso has in theirs. Does it really matter which outer pod you use? Well, they're all going to give you a cup of coffee. However, the brewing parameters will be different, and depending on the coffee you're using, you may be able to tell that difference. So experiment with that. And of course, if you don't have all the different pods, check our website. We're going to offer those for sale. And of course, you can buy them directly from Nespresso as well. The main difference between the pods, of course, is going to be your brewing size. So you have espresso, double espresso, lungo, coffee, and alto. So there you have it. That's the Freedom Refill hack. You can brew any coffee that you want in your Nespresso Vertuoline machine. I hope you've enjoyed this series. Please, please, please click like on our videos, give them a thumbs up, put your comments in there, let us know how this is working for you, and visit our website for even more information than what we've covered here. Thank you.